Hey there, Cyber Sleuth. Let's dive into a topic that's as thrilling as it is unsettling: cyber attacks. These digital onslaughts aren't just random glitches or minor inconveniences. They're full-blown assaults that disrupt governments, cripple businesses, and even endanger lives. And while no country is immune to the growing threat of cybercrime, some nations have found themselves in the crosshairs more than others. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's explore the top countries where cyber attacks have hit hardest and why they've become prime targets. Before we get into specifics, let's talk about why certain countries are magnets for cyber attacks. Here are a few reasons. High-value targets. Nations with advanced economies, robust infrastructure, and cutting-edge technology offer lucrative opportunities for hackers. Geopolitical tensions. Countries embroiled in conflicts or rivalries often face state-sponsored cyber attacks aimed at destabilizing their systems. Cybersecurity gaps. Even wealthy nations sometimes struggle to keep up with rapidly evolving cyber threats, leaving vulnerabilities wide open. Global connectivity. The more connected a country is, the more entry points exist for hackers to exploit. Now that we've set the stage, let's take a closer look at the countries that have borne the brunt of cyber chaos. If you had to pick one country that's been the epicenter of cyber attacks, it would be the good old USA. With its massive economy, sprawling infrastructure, and global influence, the US is both a tempting target and a frequent victim. Major incidents: Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack, 2021. A ransomware attack by the DarkSide Group forced Colonial Pipeline, one of the largest fuel pipelines in the US, to shut down operations. Gas shortages rippled across the East Coast, highlighting how vulnerable critical infrastructure can be. SolarWinds breach, 2020. Widely attributed to Russian intelligence, this supply chain attack compromised software used by thousands of organizations, including US government agencies. It exposed sensitive data and raised alarms about national security. Equifax data breach, 2017. One of the largest data breaches in history, this attack exposed the personal information of nearly 147 million Americans, including social security numbers and credit card details. Why is the US such a target? The US is home to many of the world's largest corporations, military installations, and tech giants, all juicy targets for hackers. Additionally, its reliance on interconnected systems makes it particularly vulnerable to cascading failures. If there's one country that's become a real-world laboratory for cyber warfare, it's Ukraine. Sandwiched between Russia and NATO, Ukraine has faced relentless cyber attacks over the past decade, many of which are suspected to originate from Moscow. Major incidents: power grid attacks, 2015 and 2016. In what was arguably the first known cyber attack to cause a widespread power outage, Russian hackers used malware to knock out electricity for hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians during winter. The attacks demonstrated how cyber weapons could inflict physical damage. NotPetya, 2017. Initially targeting Ukrainian businesses, this wiper malware spread globally, causing billions of dollars in damages. It's widely believed to have been a Russian operation disguised as ransomware. Election interference. Ahead of elections, Ukraine has repeatedly faced attempts to disrupt voting systems, steal data, and spread disinformation. Why is Ukraine a target? As a geopolitical flashpoint, Ukraine finds itself caught between East and West. Its proximity to Russia and frequent tensions with Moscow make it a testing ground for cyber tactics that could later be deployed elsewhere. India might not immediately come to mind when thinking about cyber attacks, but don't let that fool you. As the world's largest democracy and a rapidly digitizing economy, India has become a hotspot for cybercriminals and state-sponsored actors alike. Major incidents: Kudankulam nuclear plant breach, 2019. Hackers infiltrated the administrative network of India's largest nuclear power plant. While no critical systems were affected, the breach underscored the vulnerability of even highly secure facilities. Aadhaar data leak, 2018. The Aadhaar database, containing biometric and demographic information of over 1 billion Indians, suffered a massive data breach. Personal details were reportedly sold online for as little as $8. Ransomware epidemics. Indian businesses and municipalities have faced waves of ransomware attacks, crippling everything from hospitals to municipal services. Why is India a target? India's rapid adoption of digital technologies, combined with relatively weak cybersecurity measures, creates ample opportunities for attackers. Moreover, its strained relations with neighbors like China and Pakistan make it a likely target for state-sponsored cyber espionage and sabotage. The UK isn't just a financial hub, it's also a key player in global politics and intelligence-sharing networks like Five Eyes. This combination makes it a magnet for cybercriminals and nation-state actors. Major incidents: NHS WannaCry attack, 2017. The WannaCry ransomware wreaked havoc on the UK's National Health Service, cancelling appointments and surgeries across dozens of hospitals. It highlighted the fragility of healthcare systems in the face of cyber threats. BA and Marriott data breaches, 2018. British Airways and Marriott International suffered massive breaches affecting millions of customers' personal and payment data. Both incidents were linked to sophisticated hacking groups. Parliament email hack, 2017. Hackers breached the email accounts of several members of Parliament, compromising sensitive communications. Why is the UK a target? The UK's role in international alliances, coupled with its strong economy and technological infrastructure, makes it an attractive target. Additionally, Brexit-related uncertainties have created new vulnerabilities. Tiny Estonia might seem like an unlikely candidate for cyber chaos, but it made headlines in 2007 when it became the first country to experience a large-scale cyber attack that effectively paralyzed its digital infrastructure. Major incident: 2007. Cyber attacks. Following a diplomatic dispute with Russia over the relocation of a Soviet-era war memorial, Estonia faced a wave of distributed denial-of-service (DDoS) attacks that took down government websites, banks, and media outlets. While not physically destructive, the attacks disrupted daily life and showcased the potential of cyber warfare. Why is Estonia a target? Estonia's heavy reliance on digital systems, earning it the nickname e-Estonia, makes it uniquely vulnerable. Its tense relationship with Russia adds another layer of risk. South Korea sits at the intersection of technological innovation and geopolitical tension, making it a frequent target for cyber attacks, many of which are traced back to North Korea. Major incidents: Sony Pictures hack, 2014. While not directly targeting South Korea, this attack by North Korean hackers sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and underscored Pyongyang's willingness to strike beyond borders. Dark Soul attacks, 2013. Malware wiped out data from major South Korean banks and broadcasters, causing widespread disruption. North Korea was blamed for the incident. Cryptocurrency heists. North Korean hackers have repeatedly targeted South Korean cryptocurrency exchanges, stealing millions of dollars to fund the regime. Why is South Korea a target? Its proximity to North Korea and the latter's penchant for cyber aggression put South Korea squarely in the line of fire. Additionally, its advanced tech sector makes it a valuable target for espionage and sabotage. These examples highlight a sobering truth. No country is safe from cyber attacks. Whether it's a superpower like the US, a small nation like Estonia, or a rising star like India, everyone is vulnerable. But there's a silver lining. Each attack teaches us something new about how to defend against future threats. Key takeaways: invest in cybersecurity. Governments and businesses must prioritize cybersecurity to stay ahead of attackers. International cooperation. Cyber threats know no borders, so collaboration between nations is essential. Public awareness. Educating citizens about phishing scams, password hygiene, and other basic practices can reduce risks. The list of countries hit hardest by cyber attacks reads like a who's who of global players, and that's no coincidence. The bigger the target, the bigger the payoff for hackers. But smaller nations aren't off the hook either, as Estonia's experience shows. As our world becomes increasingly digitized, the stakes will only continue to rise. Next time you hear about a cyber attack halfway around the globe, remember, it's not just their problem, it's everyone's problem. Until then, stay sharp and maybe double-check your antivirus settings. You never know when you might be next.